Good afternoon, folks. It is Saturday and it's an overcast day with a little bit of rain, thank heavens, which is good for the garden. And I've just received a load of pictures from Paul P in the UK. Thank you for these, Paul. He has modified his indicators and his rear light unit. So he's very kindly sent me some pics of his bike, and it never fails to amaze me just how diverse these bikes can be. You know, they are truly customizable, and everyone appears to be different and suits the individual owner's taste. So there it is. Now, from what Paul's told me, it's the rear light unit is a Suzuki GT250, and as it was when I put my Lucas one on, it's a bit involved. The standard mount at the rear of the bike, the cast alloy one, tends to want to make the light, any other light unit, point upwards slightly, so that needs to be done. So Paul sent me details of how he achieved this, so if anybody is thinking of doing something similar, I can forward the text of his email, not his email address or personal details. I can send that to people. So the front bracket there, if you look on the inside of those brackets, there's like casting lines, you know, big thick casting things, which are not needed. And it's normally necessary. I ground mine off with a variety of tools, including a wood chisel at one point in sheer desperation, because I didn't have a decent Dremel, which I shall be treating myself to soon. So there it is. He's got what appear to be the American indicators. Obviously they've got stalks on the metal rather than the rubber, and they've got that round shape that my Lucas replicas have got as well. I personally think the round look suits my bike, and I think it certainly suits Paul's bike here. He's also got a Royal Enfield replacement headlamp, it would appear. I don't think that's standard on them these days, is it? So there it is, the GT250 rear light unit. It adds a whole new dimension to the bike. And as I say, it's a question of individual taste. Some people go for LED ones, little ones, you know. But I think that's the really good thing about these bikes. You can basically turn them into what you want, can't you? Or you can leave them as entirely standard. But I think it's something that you can't do with, say, my pan-European Honda that's covered in fairings and panniers and, you know, plastic panels and things. So on these, as you can see, that rear light unit, he said it took quite a bit of doing, and I can believe it. As I say, if anybody wants to do that similar modification, I'll cut and paste his text. So that's from the rear of the bike, obviously. Looks like he's got replacement cans on, standard headers, standard shocks are there yet, I think. And I think it looks really good. So as you can see, brass nut on the inside of the bracket, and that's where you've got these casting bits, which I ground off. This next shot shows the rear assembly, which I think is better than the stock one. I was never personally keen on my stock indicators and rear light unit. I didn't really think they suited the bike. So as you can see, he's got the original rubber bits. Now underneath that, he says, there is a piece of metal piping to bring those indicators out a little bit. But it's and I think it's obviously sprayed the actual cast alloy bracket black as well, I would think, because the standard, the silver, aren't they, a sort of aluminium-y coloured paint. This is a side view of it. So with a bit of persistence, necessity being the mother of invention, as they say. As you can see, if you look at that cast metal black bracket, you can see it's at an angle, isn't it? A very slight angle to the right. So it's necessary when I did my Lucas one to do a little bit of jiggery pokery. But this, Paul's pictures here obviously show that it can obviously be done. Nice. I like that. Paul mentioned in an email to me he also likes the as he called it, the prosthetic bell mouths, subject of my previous video. I think that's a good way of describing them. I'm going to be measuring mine today and getting the diameter, and I'm definitely going to do it. And I think Paul may be doing the same thing. Paul, are you going to be doing it? I know I am. Great mod, that one. And these final shots here are of his complete bike again. That is one big fuel tank. So, is that the GT tank? I don't know. Is that what's on the GT? That is a GT, isn't it? No, it's not a GT. It's an Interceptor, isn't it? However, there it is. So thanks again for that, Paul. You've done a great job on that. And I'm sure people will want to do something very similar on their own bikes. Anyway, take care on it. And sympathies to the poor bloke who got pranged into the back of yesterday. On my previous video, I put a comment. A little rear end shunt. Fortunately he was okay, and so was the bike. I know in my case I had a van driver start reversing, I didn't even know I was there, and I ended up banging on the back of his van when he was about a centimetre from my front wheel. So hazards everywhere, but that's the challenge, isn't it? So thanks again for those, Paul, and I'll be posting again soon. Bye for now.